Hello, everybody. Who dey here? Who dey here with me? Who dey here with me? We are here to talk about addiction. Who dey here? Now let me see the for here. Now the door. It's sweet. We are here to talk about addiction, my people. Who is here? I don't tire for this our Nigerians, so me we don't high. We are the smoke. I still come here before all of now. I am the first person to get here. What is happening? You people, come back online. Let us talk. Time don't reach. Don't reach. Number one person, Njoku, you are welcome. You are welcome. Yeah, go and call everybody. Go and call everybody that class has started. We are going to treat addiction today. We have to treat addiction today. Go and call everybody. Let me call everybody. On my WhatsApp, class don't start. We need to treat this topic. We need to treat it. Class don't start. Oh yeah. Hallelujah. Make everybody come here. Make everybody come here. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? We don't dey live now. We don't dey live. Okay, make I put some for my WhatsApp. They come. 1 minute. 1 minute. They come. They come. We don't start. We everybody. Kai. Ooh. What is with them late comers? Now maybe the first person will come here. Followed by Njoku Esther. The rest of them will be late comers. Oof. Okay. I don't dey sweat. Only me gather day for here, ba. No wahala. I say, we'll talk addiction. All of us, we gotta get one addiction or the other. Now, no one come online. No lele. Number 2 audience. Omofade Oluwatoyin, you are very, very welcome. Hey, Kilo Kisef day for here. All right, now let's go there. My people don't dey show. Today we want to talk about addiction. Ade hayo. Olabode Fisayo yourself day for here. Okay now. Ade Soji self day for here. All right. Now welcome. Now then they come one by one. More treat this addiction, But man, I don't hide for here. What am I high on? Squishy. I am high on Squishy. Omofade. I am high on, I don't even know. But today, addiction we won't come talk about. Okay? But make I try do normal. So make I just take my last drag. For the day. Welcome everyone. You guys are welcome to another live broadcast. Now I don't hire B. I know how I can't. I know how. So get your friends, get everybody. We are live. We're about to take this class now. Okay. Okay, Justina, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. So today we'll be treating what? Addiction. Okay, so for most of us, we know that like we have we see most people that have addictions as people that smoke, people that have people that take weed, people that probably, what else do they even use? Cocaine and the likes, like different substances. But what I would be talking about today really is not that alone, or no, not. I'm not actually going to talk about that. I'm not focusing on that. That is not what I'm going to talk about today. But it is still addiction, but from another angle. Okay, so sit back, relax, and I hope that by the end of today we're going to learn something tangible. Okay, so what is addiction, my people? What is addiction? All right. So while doing my research, I found out that like addiction is a way your body craves a substance, or a behavior. So addiction goes beyond just a substance like cigarette, alcohol, marijuana. It could also be a behavior, especially when it causes a compulsive or obsessive pursuit of a reward and lack of concern over consequences. I take it again. Addiction is a way your body craves a substance or behavior, especially when it causes a compulsive or obsessive pursuit of a reward and lack of concern over consequences. Even I know they take notes. Make I do this thing sharp. Addiction. What is addiction? I take it for the last time. It's a way your body craves a substance or a behavior, especially when it causes a compulsive or obsessive pursuit of a reward and lack of concern over consequences. That is addiction. Now, you may think to yourself that like, okay, I'm cool. I don't get any addiction. I'm a normal person. I am very, very normal. Over normal, they worry me. I don't get any form of addiction or the other. Like, what the heck? Nah, I know they smoke. I know they drink. I know they do this one. I know they do that one. I'm coming for you people, though. Because today I am going to shatter certain tables. That is why I'm here. I want to break some tables where we say, all of them, they sit comfortably on. Comfortably. I'm going to break that particular table today. So, my first experience with addiction was when I was in primary 4, right? I would really like to share my own experience this time around. When I was in primary 4, I attended a public school. And growing up, I lived in a face me, I slap you house. If you lived in a face me, I slap you house like myself, please let me see your hands up. Whoop, whoop. Tim, face me, I slap you. When I did. Anybody for here who lived in face me, I slap you? Nobody. All of them, they form Botabi. Now only me can live for face me, I slap you. No wahala. I no go talk. Anyway, so while growing up, at the resumption of primary 4, a friend of mine and I were talking about something, and then like he was talking about sex. And like, sex. Primary 4, small picking. Like this dude was exposed at that point in time, and then he was explaining how they do it in their compound, how they have sex with particular neighbors and everything else. Now, the home I came from, we are very good people. My parents really tried for us. Really, really tried for us. I have to give it to my parents. However, with that knowledge in mind, there was a particular day that I had to visit our neighbor upstairs. That time, like, they had VCD player, right? Which was just this TV that has cupboard that they used to shut that we had. So I went one day to go and watch movies. Then the next thing, a particular guy came around. I think one of the cousins of our neighbor, he came around and then he brought a movie. And it turned out to be pornography. That was my first time of seeing anything that had to do with pornography. Unfortunately, that thing stuck. It stuck with me for years. And I battled with it. No, at first I did not battle. At first I was consuming it. You know, like when something is sweet you, like you'd always be looking for any opportunity to see any pornographic material, like I was always down. I read books, Hints and Hearts. I read Mills and Bones. I watched a lot of porn. Then it felt sweet. I was enjoying it. Until one day I realized that, like, dude, you need to stop this thing now. And then I wanted to stop. Unfortunately, I could not stop. Like, it was crazy that period. I was so deep into it that, like, if I, at a point, like, if I do not get to see pornography to watch, I feel like, this thing, like, I need to just find it. And immediately I am done watching it. I don't know if anybody has this thing about an addiction that, like, there's this emptiness that comes after everything. Like, after you've finished doing what you're not meant to do, like, you just find yourself feeling empty. Very, very empty. Like, you feel that, like, that thing that you want to do is the thing that, like, would actually make you feel good. But when you are done, like, you just feel empty, totally empty. And that was my journey with pornography for so many years. For over 20 years, I had that issue with pornography. And I think pornography for me stopped recently, some years back. And we will probably discuss later on some things I did that helped me out with addiction. But this is not about me. This is about us trashing out the whole addiction thing. Just a minute. I told you guys in the first episode, so in the last video I made, that I sweat a lot. I don't have AC in my room yet. One day, one of you guys shall provide AC for me. No, it will not be you guys. I'll go also for my thing myself. Before now, I go come begin to make one say, and I make me after like 5 years from now. Anyway, I was saying, do I still have people here? Antisex said, addiction now, let me see. When body no fit do without something, it's all right. When body no fit do without something. Okay, that kind of thing. He's right. All right, so now, the first thing we'll be looking at will be the signs of addiction. The signs of what? Of addiction. All right, so how do you know that someone is addicted to a particular thing? The first thing you would notice is that socially, this person would always be looking for opportunities for them to do that thing. Or they'll look for avenues to encourage that particular thing, right, that they're addicted to. Okay? Now, take, for instance, in my own case, I was always looking for ways in which I could watch pornography. I was always trying to, like, find ways of doing that thing, or like just watching it. That was then, yeah? That's the number one part. Number two is your behavioral pattern. We are talking about the signs of addiction now. Behavioral pattern has to do with, the number two part has to do with secrecy, okay? Number two, secrecy. A lot of the time, yourself, say when you want to do one bad thing, deep down say you want to do this bad thing, you would go and look for a way to hide. Like, you look for a way to hide to do that thing. And then when you are done doing it, you now come back. But for public, if you do that thing, no. For public, on a very good day, if you do that thing. And it's probably because a lot of the addictions that most of us are used to are the ones that, like, the society frowns at. Now, I'm going to get to the level of the addiction that the society do not frown at, but we have. That is where I am going to get to, but I still have to, like, touch the basics first before we get to that particular level. So that's number two, secrecy. Number three, health-related signs. You have insomnia, like you cannot sleep. There are times that, like, if you just don't, if you don't see an avenue to do that thing, your body will just shake. Like, you will not be comfortable. Even if you are sleeping, for me, like, I actually had a lot of wet dreams, though. As in, Yeah, nothing about something. It's a very, very bad something. Anyway, Sha, thank God for everything. But man, it is bad because your sleep will be deprived. Let me tell you something. Your sleep will be deprived. Now that's number 3. Number 4, related to personality now. Now, when we get to, or when people talk about your addiction, it gets a little bit touchy. Have you ever noticed, like, somebody is saying something that you're addicted to, like they just feel, nah, don't bring it, don't talk about it. You don't know what I'm going through. Don't just go there. Don't go there at all. You don't know it. I'm sure you've actually been there before, haven't you? No lie. No lie. That's the next one. And number 5 is that more often than not, people blame other people for their addiction. People blame other people. At first, like I used to blame the fact that like my neighbor exposed me to that, and then all of a suddenliness, and I became addicted. I never wanted to take the blame for being addicted to that particular thing. I never wanted to. And I'm sure that like a lot of you out there have experienced that. Like you're addicted to this thing and you just tell yourself that like, it'll be my fault, say I did addicted to this thing. No. And because my mama no love me, my papa no love me. And when my papa leave my mama, now this addiction can't start. Those are signs of what? Of addiction. Okay. Number 6, which is the last sign I have on my list here, is most people that are addicted lack genuine feeling and sometimes empathy. Because they are so addicted to something, like it is all for the pleasure. Like, in short, even at a point like the pleasure is off. It is just, you just want to do it. You just want to do it. Just like Nike, just do it. Like you no longer have a reason why you're doing it, but you just find yourself, you keep doing it. Kilokis toxic. Na konji kosam. About afraid that no be konji jo, no be konji na addiction. But then now we are not focusing on what's the word now? We're not focusing on substantive addiction today, as I said earlier, right? We're not focusing on that. But in today's class, which is the crux, the cocoa of where we are going to, is that we are going to be focusing on behavioral addiction. Now, when I talk about behavioral addiction, a lot of you guys will feel that like, what's this dude talking about? But, oh, look at number 1, cho, gossip. It's an addiction. It is a behavioral addiction, believe you me. Malice. They keep malice. It is an addiction. You don't know, Abi? I think that like it's only the people that like that smoke, that drink, that do this, that does that are the ones that are addicted. But because the society does not frown at these certain things, you feel that it's nothing. If you check yourself properly, in depth, you have one addiction that is in you. But just because the society does not talk about it, just because you feel that it's not doing any harm to anybody directly, what's the big deal? But also look at it from the other angle. There are some of you out there that you do not have peace of mind until you bring another person down. You talk bad about them. You talk ill of them. Like, that's just it. Some of you, it is anger issues. Like, some people say that like, no, I was born angry. It is a lie. You are lying. You're a liar. You're not born to be an angry person. You enjoy the feeling that anger gives to you, and that is why you kept at it. You kept doing it. Now, I would say something that like every addiction breeds a bad habit. And not every bad habit is born out of addiction, but every addiction breeds a bad habit. That's the fact. Every addiction breeds a bad habit. So whatever bad habit you feel you have, or people have told you that you have, more often than not, well, it is not in all cases, but most likely it was born out of what? An addiction. So if you look and you think deep down, you would know that you have a particular thing that like you're addicted to. But because the society does not frown at it, you decided to be cool with it. You decided to hold on to it. Now, the bad part about addiction is that at a point in your life, it stops you from getting to the next level. Addiction stops you from getting to the next level, whether you like it or not, whether you say that like it doesn't affect anybody, but at a point in your life, addiction will stop you from getting to the next phase of your life if you do not drop it. And that is the truth. That is the truth. Okay? So, next on my agenda, we'll talk about the 5 stages of addiction. The 5 stages of addiction. Now, we are looking at it based on behavioral addiction and not substantive addiction. We're not talking about nicotine today. We're not talking about alcohol. We're not talking about cocaine. We're talking about behavioral addiction. Those addictions that you are so used to that you yourself know that like this thing where they do no good, but you refuse to stop it. That's what we are treating today. Behavioral addiction. So the number 1 on my list is first addictive phase. Let me paste it here for everybody to see. First, just a moment. First addictive phase. That's the first phase of what? Of addiction. Now, do you remember the first time you did a particular thing, right? It probably felt good. For me, it was, going back to the pornography, like I saw them watching it. Actually, I can actually remember what happened that day. So those guys, they were in GSS. I was in primary school then. And then they slot the pornographic movie in. And then they asked us, we did for primary school, myself and Shay, they asked us to cover our eyes while they were watching the pornography. You know children now. Seriously, I can never forget that period. But sincerely speaking, that was the first phase. That first time you do that thing that like you're not meant to do, and a part of your conscience keeps pricking you, but another part of it is enjoying it. Like you enjoyed what you saw, you enjoyed what you did. The first time you insulted someone, and then people hailed you, and all of a sudden, like you started feeling it. You started feeling the fact that like, okay, this thing's sweet too. Fine, you felt bad that like you actually insulted the person, but because people were hailing you, like yes, 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 like it stuck. And that's the first phase. The first time you get to do that thing, the very first time you do it, that's the first phase of what? Of addiction, first addictive phase. The second addictive phase is what I call, I'm sorry, I'm trying to like, so that like everybody will get what I'm trying to teach. The second addictive phase is, drum rolls please. Let's show it. Second addictive phase is regular addictive phase. Now you've gone beyond trying for the first time. You felt guilty. You probably like prayed about it that like you're not going to do it again. You told God that like, God, I'm sorry. Have mercy on your son. I've done this evil against you. I'm not going to do them again. Father Lord. But then you get right back to it. At a point, like it now becomes something you do maybe weekly, you do monthly, and it becomes a steady thing, steady behavior. You keep malice the first time, so you kept malice the first time, you felt bad. Then all of a sudden you're like, but I didn't die. Then you do it again. You get angry at someone. You didn't die. Then you keep doing it again. Like, yes, I can get angry. Anybody that talks to me anyhow, I will show them who I am. You get angry. All right? That's the second addictive phase. Okay? Something that you keep doing what? Regularly. You keep doing it regularly. The third addictive phase is the risky addictive phase. Now, you've gone beyond doing this thing regularly, right? It has not gotten to the point that like it's passing be careful now. I think that's what I'm going to use. You don't need to pass be careful. In such a way that sorry, let me put this on the screen so that everybody will see it. Number 3 is risky addictive phase. Just a moment, please. Thank you. Okay. And show. Number 3, risky addictive phase. Right? You don't pass be careful. Let's say, for instance, they've been warning you, stop getting angry. Stop getting angry unnecessarily. Like, that is who I am. That's the way I am. And then all of a sudden, like, you are in a public place and you just display that thing for no just cause. Like, you just display that anger. Or maybe you are the one that like you keep bringing people down with your mouth. Now, you started with your family members. You see, or probably like your friends. This one, look at the shoe you are wearing. It's not even fine. Look at this one. I'm sure that like you went to borrow it, right? And then all of a sudden, it now gets to the point that like anybody you see and everybody you see, you just have to have a negative comment about them. You just have to have a negative comment about them. That's the third phase. You're getting to the risky addictive phase. Okay. The fourth one is dependence addictive phase. Now, this is the point that, let me take this one down. This is a point that if you do not, what's it called? If you do not do that thing, right, you would not feel normal. Like you start feeling as if something is wrong with you. You never insult persons today. You've not thrown anger tantrums. Like you start feeling very, very uncomfortable. Like very, very, because you just have to do that thing. You just have to do that bad habit. That particular thing that you keep doing that you're not meant to do. You keep doing it. You've gotten to that dependence addictive phase. Like you must always find a fault in everybody that comes into your life. Now, another thing is what's it called? The fear of feeling that like anybody can love you. If you get to the point that you feel that all men are scum, every woman now lose show, that even the ones that like are coming to just be friends with you, you feel that like this person will soon live my life. You've gotten to that level that like you no longer feel good until you do that thing, until that is like it's already become a part of you. That particular habit, that addiction has become a part of you. Like you don't glue for your body like gum. No, super glue. Super glue is actually like a better word. You don't glue for your body. Do you get? That is what the fourth phase, dependency addictive phase. Number 5 on my list is disorder addictive phase. Now, this is the point that like you don't pass prayer points. Like when this this addiction has gone to the level that like your life feels as if I am going to die if I don't do this thing. Like you start looking for avenues to do it, even when it is not even necessary. Like your life just feels as if you have to die. Now that's the most extreme level you can get to when it comes to addiction. Now, a lot of the time, people don't get to this number 5 because if they get there, like everybody will start moving away from them. When it gets to disorder addictive, let me put it on the screen. Disorder addictive phase. Disorder, addictive phase. Disorder, addict, disorder, addictive phase. Okay. Now, at that point in time, once you get to that level, or if you get to that level, because a lot of people do not get to this level of addiction. If you get to that level, everybody start running away from you. Nobody wants to associate with you because your behavior sucks. Your behavior sucks. I'm sure you probably know one person in your life that they have this attitude that like you just hate, like you just hate that attitude. Like you know that like this one is not that this is how God created that person, but this person has just become a monster over time. I'm sure we all have one person or the other in our lives that has actually gotten to that point. It is not common. A lot of our addictions does not get to that level, but we have few cases like that. Okay. Now, the sad part about addiction is that addiction ruins you. Addiction ruins the things you love. Addiction ruins your relationship with the people you love. And it affects every single thing you do. Addiction affects every single thing you do, whether you accept it or you do not. Addiction affects every single thing that you do. Now, one of the ways my own addiction then, which was pornography, affected me was that I could not, at a point in my life, right, I was almost tending to see every lady as a sexual object. Every word that comes out of everybody's mouth in a way would sound sexual. Now, I know that like there are times that like human beings flirt, yeah, but when it now gets to that level that like everything everybody says has a sexual connotation to it, then it starts becoming what's it called, a problem. Especially, what's it called? Now, the worst part about addiction for me then was that, okay, let's say, I'm sorry, let me take this, making a no good thing saying that disorder, addictive phase, now I did for my life will not be so. Let me take this down. Let me take this down. Where is it? Okay, let me take this down. So, one of the issues I had about addiction then for me was that, you know, when you're in church and then it is time to pray, and you know that this prayer is for your life, and then like you close your eyes, you're praying, Father, Lord, in the name of Jesus, I pray for this, I pray for that, and then like you just mistakenly just open your eye, and the next thing you see is something that will trigger that addiction. Has this ever happened to anybody before? Like you are doing something and then the next moment that thing comes up. That thing, like it cancels out all the positive energy. It has a way of bringing negative energy your way. For you people that like maybe like your own addiction is gossip or hatred, like maybe somebody comes to church and then like they come, praise Master Jesus. This is my testimony. On Monday, the Lord did this thing for me. Hallelujah. And then the next thing in your mind, you're like, yemu, yemu. The purpose of a testimony is for your faith to be built. Yeah. But at that point in time, your mind has been wired because you have fed that addiction. It is now wired that like you start finding fault in whatever anybody says. Does that happen to you? It may not be hatred, it may be just one of your behaviors. Like it has a way of debarring your thought process. It keeps bringing negative energy your way. And at a point, like you start asking yourself that like, how did I get here? 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 I wrote somewhere that like addiction is like a sinking sand. Yeah. At first, when you are sinking, you don't feel it. You don't feel you're sinking. Like you just feel that, okay, I got this. I'm in charge. I got this. Then all of a sudden, when you now realize that like, okay, this is actually an addiction. I am addicted to this thing. Then for you to now stop, will be big time problem, because it is like a sinking sand. You are going deep. You're going deep without knowing it. You are feeding the addiction. You are feeding it. You're feeding it in your mind. And over time, you are stuck. You can't move yourself out. If you've watched any movie that had to do with them sinking sand, you know what it entails. Like, you can never bring yourself out of it because you just keep going down, except you have something that you can hold on to and then pull yourself out. Except you have that, like you are stuck. Like you are very, very stuck in it. It affects, like once you realize that like something is not working in your life, it is at that point you should ask yourself that, like, before I think about village people or the witches in my village, before I say that like it is the Nigerian society that is causing it, is there anything I am addicted to that is causing me not to move forward? Some people here, their own addiction is sharp mouth. They can insult anybody and everybody. Some people, it is belittling. There was a time that like someone told me that like her pastor went to the bank and he needed to do something. Now, the cashier that was attending to him was so saucy, was so rude. As you know, even rude boys have they learn from this babe. She was so rude that when she now checked this man's bank account and saw the amount that was in it, you know how humility will just come all of a sudden. Like, I am sorry, sir. I'm very sorry, sir. What do you need, sir? I will do it for you, sir. That I am so sure of it that like that man can never help that lady if he had a choice. Like, okay, fine, forget the fact that like he's a Christian. Like, if you go party, like just put him aside, and then like with that kind of behavior, like that man can never. And a lot of us have these things that like, because the society, as I said earlier, does not frown at it, we tell ourselves it is cool to do it. But believe you me, that particular thing that is cool to do would debar you from going to your next level. We just started 2021, and you probably have gone to church. You've already prayed about this, you've already prayed about that. And then you're telling yourself that like this year, 2021 is going to be my year. My friend, if you have an addiction, you go nowhere. You move nowhere. You're going to be stuck. Let me tell you that. You are going to be stuck. You're moving nowhere, my people. You go nowhere. Not because this will not be because you go nowhere. Okay? Now, how to stop addiction? How to stop addiction? Abalore asked a question. Abalore Pressure said, what will pull you out of a sinking sand must come from above. Well, if you're going to use the whole church thingy that like it's only God that can help you and all that, I do not. Okay, yeah, there's a God factor. I would never dispute that fact. But hold on a moment. Just listen to what I have to say. Okay. The first thing about addiction or having to put an end to an addiction is that you need to realize that like you are addicted to something. There's something in you that you should not be doing, that you're doing, that you're addicted to. You need to confront that and tell yourself the truth. You need to tell yourself the truth, because if you do not tell yourself the truth, my brother, my sister, you would only be deceiving yourself. If you're still telling yourself that like, this is the way God created me, it's a lie. Stop lying to yourself. Confront yourself and tell yourself the truth. Adams, you two watch porn, stop porn. Okay, thank God. I've been rid of pornography, so that is not it for me anymore, right? But you have your own. Shade, Ombunyo, you two they abuse. You need to get to that level that like you tell yourself that this is where I have put myself and I don't want to be here anymore. Some of you guys, it is conji sex. You can knock everything in your sleep, in reality, even without this stuff. Like, if you do not have sex, you are not yourself. You are not yourself. Some of you will blame it that like, yeah, I was raped when I was small. I was exposed to sex when I was small. But my friend, you got to put an end to it because some of these things, they affect you. They affect your thought process. They affect your growth. Okay. So number one, I said, identify that you have it. All right. Number two, get a professional help or talk to someone that has gone through that same thing and has gotten over it. Okay. Now, I would say this thing, please. I'll say this thing. Don't just approach anybody when it comes to you looking for a way to end an addiction. I have had people that, no, not people. I had someone that actually told that I was addicted to pornography years back. And this particular person used that thing against me. Yeah, I've forgiven the person long ago, but it's made me not to want to tell anybody about my addiction anymore. And I had to like learn to do it myself. If I actually had someone that I could talk to in confidence and the person could actually keep a secret and could be of assistance, believe me, maybe, just maybe, I would have been rid of it a very long time ago. But because I spoke to a wrong person, actually, the person I went to speak to was not matured. But I just felt that like, okay, let me just tell this person. And then the next thing, it wasn't up to 2 months. This person used this thing against me. I was like, wow, ooh, it's all right. Next time I'm not going to tell you something again. I'm not going to tell you something. I know that like a lot of us out there, we have this issue of, okay, who can I talk to? Who can I trust? Who can I share this burden with? Who can I tell that like, this is what I am going through and I need to stop it? It is not easy. So if you can go the medical way and get medical help, please do, right? If you can see a psychologist, please do get that help. And if you can find someone that you can confide in, someone that can hold you by the hand. Now, more often than not, if you have a spiritual leader, right? If you have someone like your pastor that you trust, now it still boils down to maturity. It is not every pastor, it is not every imam that you talk to that is matured. Please get that. It is just because somebody is in your church with you or is in your mosque with you or is in one religious gathering with you does not make that person matured mentally. Just because someone is older than you does not make the person matured mentally. If you feel that this person you want to talk to, or you can just do that, like test the person with something little and see how the person reacts. If the person falls or fails that test, move back, please. Don't be the subject of discussion on the altar. I'm sure some people, they've had cases whereby they went to meet their pastor and like they went to talk to their pastor, and the next thing they found the pastor using it to preach on the altar. 2 Sundays ago, one sister came to me. Children of God, people are doing barbarity. You cannot imagine a sister in our church having slept with 30 men. I wonder how that sister can make heaven. But I encouraged her. I told her that like there's still hope. And the sister is in the church. The sister did for church. Do you think that person would actually stop doing that thing? For a lot of you guys out there that like somebody comes to confide in and then you use that thing against you, you're not helping that person. You are not, because you're actually making that person feel worse. And you're trying to tell that person that like, stay in your crap. Stay in this thing that you're doing. Do not improve yourself. A lot of you out there, you do this. Somebody comes to you, confides in you, and then the next thing, like you bullshit the person. You tell another person the story. She hear what happened. Jumoke just came to me. She has lost her virginity. Do you need it? Do you need it? Must you talk? Somebody came to tell you something in confidence. You just open your mouth. Wow. You begin to tell everybody, cho. My brother, my sister, Gossip, that is your own addiction. Go and stop it. Remove the log of wood in your eye before you remove the speck from another person's eye. Work on your addiction. If you feel you do not have an addiction, believe me, we all have one addiction or the other at varying levels. At varying levels. And we all need to work on it. Okay. So number 2, I said, talk to someone about it. Someone that like you trust. Someone that like you feel that, okay, this person is matured enough to listen to me. All this goes in my area. Yeah. They just want to spoil my ministry. Go to share one feature. No worry. One day I go kill you. I go bring you come here. Anyway, my people, we move. We are still here. We are still here. We are still here. All right. So number 3 on the list is be ready to do the time to be free from addiction. Be ready to do the time. It is not enough for you to say that, like, I want to be free from this thing. You have to be ready. Now, in my own case, it did not happen overnight. Now, that is one thing that you need to realize about addiction. When you're addicted to something, it doesn't go overnight. You just don't end it. It doesn't just stop that way. No. Addiction does not stop that way. Nah. It takes time. It takes process. If you are on number 5 stage of addiction, then you have to like walk your way down to number 4, then to number 3, then to number 2, then probably to number 1, and then to the point that like you no longer feel anything for that thing anymore. Okay? It's like trying to lose weight. Yeah? All of them when they drink tea, slim tea, fast approach. The bad part about it is that, like, yes, slimming tea may work. However, your habit cannot be slimmed down. Which means that, like, after using the slim tea, at a point, if you're so used to taking junks, not before long, you blow again. Like, you are big again. Like, you don't know how come you got to that level. Okay? You are big again. And that is it. You need to walk the process. You need to exercise. And the same thing goes for having an addiction, right? You need to take the time to want to stop. You need to have a higher purpose, right? You need to have a higher purpose. It goes beyond just wanting to tell yourself that, oh, Lord have mercy, I'm going to kill this goat. My people watching me. This goat is falling my hand. This goat is falling my hand. But then I'll continue this teaching because, hey, when I blow someday, I'm going to show this clip. When I blow in the future, I'm going to show this clip when a goat was shouting in the background. Anyway, you need to like work it out. It's not going to end immediately. No. Addictions do not end immediately. No matter what you feel it is, even if you're trying to like come out of a sinking sand, you will not come immediately. Like, it will be gradually, and you'll be doing it slowly. But the first thing is that, like, you need to be determined to, Onefade, mind yourself. Let me see what somebody said as you leave the goat. Which kind of thing is it is embarrassing me. No, my people, it is embarrassing me. Anyway, you have to tell yourself that, like, okay, this thing is going to be a long-term thing, but I am going to be committed to it because I want my life to be better. I am going to commit to being a better me. I'm going to commit to being a better me. Okay? That is it. Baby steps, one step at a time. Then have a form of distraction. Have something that, like, will be a passion for you. Something that will take your mind from doing that thing that you used to do. Okay? Now, for me, one of the ways that, like, I started, what's the word now? One of the ways I was able to stop addiction, right, was that I had to look for things to do, people to help, things to do for other people, right, that will keep me busy. Anything that, like, would make me to not have that free time. That free time that, like, I would tell myself that, like, oh yeah, go to xvideos.com. Oh yeah, go to xxx.com. Please, if you don't, please don't visit those sites too. I am begging you, people, don't visit those sites. All right. I just had to, like, I kept working at it until one day I just realized that, like, I wasn't moved by pornography anymore. Like, Like, wow, okay. I made sure I was busy. Like I set different goals for myself. Not goals, please get this right, not goals that like I want to stop pornography now, but goals that like would take me away from having that free time to want to watch pornography. Okay? You need to have that. Have a distraction, have something, have a passion, have something that like would take your mind off that thing totally. Once you can do that, believe you me, you are on your way to being free from that addiction. If you're someone that like you always see bad in people, you always try to bring down people, then just maybe start telling yourself that like for every time I see a bad thing in someone, I should be able to tell 3 good things about that same person. If I see this person and like I feel that like, okay, this person, nah, that money where it gets, nah, shall we take you take get them. Immediately you say it or you think about it, then tell yourself that like I have to find 3 good things to say about this person. And that's even when you think about it. I'm not saying when you talk about it. If you say it out loud, then you have to say 10 good things about that person. But just know that like you have to have a distraction, something that will take you away from that thing that like is making you to be sunk deep in that addiction. Okay? All right. Addiction, addiction, addiction. So can I ask, what addiction do you have? You people watching me, I have 9 people live right now. You people watching me, what is your addiction? What is your addiction? Do you have any addiction? Would like to talk about your addiction? Do you have any questions about your addiction? Actually, I wanted to do something before, but I didn't plan it through. Maybe on other episodes, right? I would do it. I wanted to like create a link for people to send questions anonymously, right? And I would be able to answer it. So, does anybody have an addiction, or everybody's forming? The boy is good, the girl is good. All of us are good together. I don't get any form of addiction. Abolade Precious, we're done. No. Brother in the Lord. You know those sites. The Lord will have mercy on you. The Lord will have mercy on you. Anyway, do we have any addiction we would like to talk about? I realize people don't go chop Google. Nobody's talking anymore. Okay, so since I wasn't able to get the link, maybe next time, right, I will do it. So we have come to the end of the class. This is my first episode for the year 2021. By the end of this year, I want to do, or I hope to have done 100 videos, 100 live teachings, 100 live interviews, right? Now, this is the first step in the direction. This is our very first episode. For every one of you guys that made this possible, I'd like to say thank you. But my major thanks goes to one particular person, right? Now, if for those of you that came for the last episode I did, that was the last year, right? You would notice that like there are a lot of changes. Now I can post people that comment, I can do this one, I can do that one, right? But someone made it possible. Somebody say we are shy, sir. You don't want to talk about your addiction. Imagine. Anyway, work on your addiction. So I was saying that like someone made it possible, and I really, really have to give my thanks to the person. I am really grateful. I just bought a software that makes this sweeter in such a way that like I can invite guests to the show. So over time, you guys will be meeting new people coming. We'll be having interviews. I'll be interviewing people on different topics. If you have any topic ideas you would like me to talk about, please hit me up, right? And I believe that like this year is going to be a wonderful year for every one of us. It's going to be a sweet year, very, very sweet year. Yeah, one day, I know say these 11 people where they see now, it will turn to 11,000 people someday. I have that faith, and I'm going to keep pushing. This whole thing that I'm doing is a 10-year program I want to do. So that means that like I'm gonna do 1,000 episodes on the long run. And God helping me, I'm gonna stick to it. This is the very first episode. I am very grateful for everybody that showed up. Everybody that commented, everyone that took our time to watch from the beginning right to this very point in time. I hope I've been able to like impact something into your life. Yes. Let me sound like all those YouTubers. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button. That's how they used to do it, Abi. Yes. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button. Thank you once again for being a part of this show. It was sweet. The topic was addiction. I'm addicted. Enjoy your day, everyone, and have a lovely evening. Bye. See ya.